4 days after Yui's death. The autopsy, the police interviews, all of that came to an end, and Yui's body was sent in for cremation. Her soul became thin, pure white smoke and soared up to the heavens. Kurusu and I stood between the trees at the funeral home and watched it rise.
今の火葬場ってさ、フィルターとか通してクリーンな煙しか出さないんだってな。
They say crematoriums now use filters and stuff, so they only give off clean smoke. I'd say something that didn't matter and Kurusu would only half listen. We'd been doing that for a while now. Dad was probably in the room where the family waited for the cremation to finish, holding Yuto in his strong arms the whole time. Yamazoe, Serika, Oromura, and Kazuki were probably watching, but they couldn't do anything.
不思議ね。
It's strange, you know.
あんなに悲しくて涙が止まらなかったのに、今はもう平気なの。お葬式の費用のこととか、お墓をどうしようとか、そんなこと普通に考えてる。
I was so sad at first I couldn't stop crying, but now I'm okay. Now I'm thinking about the cost of the funeral and what to do for a grave.
私ってきっと薄情なんだわ。
I suppose that makes me a bit heartless, doesn't it? Even as she spoke, she looked thin and frail from her suffering, but there was a light gray flame in her eyes. I'd never seen her look like that before.
いや、クルス以外にそういうのを仕切れる人がいないからだよ。父さんも気が抜けたみたいになっちゃってるし。
No, there's no one else who can do that stuff but you. Dad looks so out of it these days.
そうかな。
There isn't?
そうだよ。
Yeah. Besides, I'd already heard the muffled sobs that came from Kurusu's room late at night. After that, I moved back to Alba Dorm from the RV. Kurusu, Yuto, Yamazoe, and Dad, all of them were shocked and saddened by Yui's death. It's hard to leave them too. I couldn't bear the idea of a lonely Alba Dorm without me or Yui. When I was alone, I found myself remembering Yui and I'd feel like I was going to go crazy. So I wanted to be with someone I could share my sorrows with. I was about to learn that this was what the family I tried to abandon was for, but for now my head was full of thoughts of finding the person who'd done this to Yui.
タクル。葬儀が終わったら少し休むといいわ。あなたひどい顔してる。
Once the funeral's over, get a little rest. You don't look so good.
それはお互い様だ。お前だってちゃんと休んでないだろ。
Neither do you. You haven't got any rest either, right?
だって夜眠れないんだもの。恐ろしい夢ばかり見てしまって、何回も飛び起きて。
I can't sleep at night. I have all these bad dreams and I keep waking up.
ね。
Listen. Kurusu tightened her hands in his small fists.
一晩だけでいいから、今度タクルの部屋で寝ちゃダメかな。
Just for one night, can I sleep in your room?
え？
Of course not. I wanted to immediately refuse, but she looked so tired and kept telling me that she couldn't sleep by herself, so I had no choice but to silently nod. When nothing was left of Yui but tiny white fragments, we used chopsticks to move her to the urn. Only after she'd lost most of her weight and fit inside the tiny urn did she finally attain a normal death. That was one weight off my shoulders. I didn't want her to stay in that horrible state forever. Yuto was shaking the whole time he'd moved his sister's ashes into the urn. But his eyes were empty, looking at nothing, and he wasn't screaming or crying. While Yui's classmates and teachers sobbed, he did his work mechanically with trembling hands. When it was done, he turned his empty eyes once more on what was left of his sister.
Yuto, 僕が必ず本当の犯人を見つけ出してやるからな。
Yuto,
約束する。
I'll find out who really did this. I promise you. But he said nothing back to me. The funeral ended without incident. Uki and Dad took Yuto back home by taxi. Kurusu and I said our goodbyes to Sarika, Aramura, and Kazuki, then headed for home. We were walking slowly.
ユウト、大丈夫かな？
I wonder if Yuto's okay.
クルスや父さんもいるし、何より山添がずっとそばについてるから。
He's got you and Dad, and more than anything, Yamazoe's with him all the time. The loss of Yuto's sister had brought back his PTSD to the point where he was just as bad as he'd been after the earthquake. He mostly lost the ability to speak. He'd become extremely afraid of the dark, and sometimes he would go into convulsions. He'd been given special permission to leave the house to attend Yui's funeral, but normally he wasn't even allowed to sleep in his room. Dad had decided to put him up in a room in Alba Clinic.
不思議な巡り合わせだな。
It's strange how it worked out, huh? It was Yamazoe Uki, of all people, who was doing everything she could to take care of him. It felt like the reason we'd saved her and brought her to Alba Dorm was so that she, Yui's old friend, could take care of him in his hour of need. When I told her that Kurusu looked sad, it's just a coincidence, was all she said.
あのね、タクル。そのウキちゃんのことだけど。
Listen, Takaru, about Uki-chan.
よかったらでいいんだけどね。そろそろ名前で呼んであげてくれないかな。
If you don't mind, could you start calling her by her first name? I felt that pain in the depths of my chest again. Around 6 months ago, I'd switched from calling her Nono to Kurusu. Looking back, the reason was stupid, that just thinking about it made me mad. A part of me was stubborn, and part of me just felt a little too embarrassed, so I'd missed the chance to switch back. And yet sometimes it made Kurusu sad.
僕は別に構わないけど、山添はそれでいいのか？
I don't mind, but would it bother Yamazoe?
実はウキちゃんがね、そう言ってたの。みんなに名前で呼んでもらって嬉しいって。なんだかうちの家族になれたみたいだって。
Uki-chan actually said she liked it when people called her by her first name, so she felt like she'd become part of the Alba Dorm's family.
でもウキちゃんには家族みたいじゃなくて本当の家族になってほしいなってそう思うから。
I don't want her to just feel like she's part of the family. I want her to really be part of the family.
ね。
You know? Kurusu smiled, probably for the first time today.
わかった。山添じゃなくて、ウキな。了解。
Right, you want me to call her Uki, not Yamazoe, right? I can do that.
ありがとう。彼女にも言っておくわ。タクルのこと名前で呼んでいいって。
Thanks, I'll tell her that she can call you Takaru too.
ああ。あと、それだったらさ。
Oh, and then... Then should I... Can I start calling you Nono again? Just as I'm about to ask her that.
宮代君、クルスさん。
It's Shinjo's voice.
はい。
We suddenly heard a voice and turned around. Shinjo-san was standing there. He must have felt responsible for what happened because there's no sign of his usual vitality. He mostly stared at the ground.
すまない。葬儀に出ようと思ってたんだが、間に合わなかったみたいだね。
I'm sorry, I wanted to go to the funeral, but I guess I didn't make it.
そんな気を使わなくていいですよ。お仕事相変わらず忙しいんでしょ？
You don't have to worry about that, you're busy with work, right?
今日は病院での検査に思ったより時間がかかってしまって。
The examination of the hospital took longer than I thought.
検査
Examination?
伊藤君のだよ。
Ito-kun's. Oh, he died? The silence that had developed between Caruso and I shattered in an instant.
意識が戻ったんですか？
He's woken up? Oh, the opposite.
合わせてください。お願いします。
Let's see him, please. Shinjo-san shook his head.
いや、依然昏睡状態のままだ。
No, he's still in a coma. I wonder if his cortex is swollen.
そうですか。
Oh, he is? I see.
でも脳の検査結果は予想通りだったよ。
His brain showed the symptoms we'd expected.
肥大化が
Swelling?
ああ、大脳新皮質が異常に大きくなっている。久野里さんの見立てだと、これまでに見たどんな患者よりひどいそうだ。
Yeah, his cerebral neocortex is extremely enlarged. Kunosato-san says it's more severe than anything she's ever seen before.
それだけ長期間にわたって、しかも強力な思考誘導を受けていたんだろうと久野里さんは言っている。
She says that's because he was subject to very strong mind control for such a long time.
じゃあ移動は無実ということになりますよね。
Then he's innocent, right? How do you prove that to the legal system that mind control happened? I don't want to think that my best friend had killed Yui of his own free will. I want to believe that he was someone else's puppet like Caruso had said.
君たちの言うように彼の後ろには誰かがいるはずだ。少なくとも俺はそう思う。
You're right, there's someone else who's controlling him. That's what I think at least. There's some hesitation in his voice.
ただ実行犯が伊藤君であることに変わりはない。君たちや俺や久野里さんなら思考誘導がいかに強力なものか理解できるし、伊藤君には罪がないと言い切れるが。
That doesn't change the fact that you did it. You, Kunosato-san, and I know how powerful mind control can be, so we can say for sure that he did nothing wrong. However,
他の捜査員や検察、それに裁判所はそうはいかない。無論世間もだ。
the other investigators know the prosecution and the judge are likely to see it differently, of course. So is the rest of the world. Yeah, he sure. I think we were all thinking that, but we didn't want it to be true.
もちろんクルスさんの証言をもとに彼が洗脳のようなものを受けていたという線で捜査を進めているが、捜査員はみんな混乱してしまっている。
Of course, we're considering the possibility of brainwashing based off Caruso-san's testimony, but none of the investigators are quite sure what to do with it.
とにかく不可解な点が多い上に裏付けすら取りようのないことばかりだ。すべてが常識の範疇を超えている。
There's just too much that doesn't make sense and too much we can't back up with evidence. This all goes way beyond what we normally handle.
かといってギガロマニアックスだの超能力だのそんな話をするわけにもいかないだろう。
But we can't start babbling about gigglomaniacs and psychic powers, can we? Shinjo-san bit his lip.
そのせいもあって今の捜査方針に疑問を抱き始めている連中が増えてきた。伊藤君に不利な証拠もいろいろと出てきてしまっていてね。
That's the only reason the rest of the department's starting to question how I'm handling the case. There's a lot of evidence showing up that's not good for Ito-kun either.
どういうことですかそれ。
What do you mean?
例えばなくしたはずの君のスマホから伊藤君のスマホに脅迫まがいの無言電話があったろ。
For instance, do you remember that threatening call that Ito-kun got from your phone after you lost it?
はい。
Yes, huh? Wait, that was Ito? So I wonder there's the person. But how?
単純なトリックだった。彼のスマホに偽の着信と電話番号を表示するアプリがインストールしてあって、宮代くんの名前と電話番号が登録されていたよ。
It was a simple trick. There was an app on his phone that would display a fake call and fake caller info, and it had your name and phone number registered on it. I mean, he couldn't be mind controlled into doing that too, just to a lesser extent. So that was it? Why didn't I realize that? I'd known there was a freeware app that could do that. I remembered hearing how you're supposed to use it to end conversations with people you didn't want to talk to or get out of meetings.
あと彼のパソコンから妙なチャットの履歴が見つかってね。
You found these strange chat logs on his computer. Are these the Max Katie ones? The ones with Ami-chan?
チャット？
Chat logs?
君たちエド・ルーカスって名前に聞き覚えはないか？
Does the name Ed Lucas mean anything to you? Not really. Ami-chan, Ed Lucas.
カス
Ed Lucas, I apologize for being late. The test images spreading through Shibuya as expected. Continue monitor the situation. Yes, and the target? No issues. There's no sign they know my identity. I'm close enough to kill Miyashiro Takaru at any time. I remember that message, but I guess I don't because I forgot about it. Kana, Caps. Whose computer is this? Oh, no.
誰ですそれ？
Who's that? Both Chris and I looked confused. Neither of us had heard that name before.
それじゃあアミーちゃんは？
What about Ami-chan?
あ、それなら
Oh, I know that.
都市伝説の？
That's the urban legend. That was the character I'd snuck into H Tokyo General Hospital to find when I was a kid.
いや、そのアミーちゃんじゃない。伊藤君のパソコンを調べたら、そういうハンドルネームの2人が頻繁にチャットを行っていたんだ。エド・ルーカスというのが伊藤君だ。
No, not that one. Logs of those two nicknames chatting were found on Ito-kun's computer. Ed Lucas was in Ito-kun's handle.
チャットの内容は一連の殺人や宮代君を監視しているような内容ばかり。犯行動機として十分すぎるくらいのね。
Chat logs consisted of discussion of the murders, lots of detailed observations about you, Miyashiro-kun. It's more than enough for a motive.
そんな
That can't be.
でもそのチャット相手を操作すれば真犯人の手がかりに。
But if you can find out who he's chatting with, that's a clue. Shinjo-san balled his hands into fists.
もちろんサイバー犯罪対策課に調べさせたよ。
Of course I had the Cyber Crimes Division look into it.
その結果、アミーちゃんは存在しなかった。
What they found was that Ami-chan didn't exist. Bullshit.
は？
Are those forged logs?
どういうことですか？
What do you mean?
アミーちゃんの正体も伊藤君だったんだ。彼は一人でチャットもどきをしていた。
Ami-chan was also Ito-kun. He was talking to himself. Why would he create logs to incriminate himself? It's obvious he was being mind controlled to do that too.
そんなバカな。
But that's impossible.
どうして。
How?
これは久野里さんの説だが、伊藤君の心は長期にわたる思考誘導のせいですでに壊れていたんじゃないかと。
This is Kunosato-san's theory, but she thinks that Ito-kun's mind had already been destroyed by being subject to mind control over an extended period of time.
だが法廷で思考誘導という能力の存在が認められない以上、非常にまずい証拠になる。犯人しか知り得ない情報が含まれているんだ。
But since mind control won't be recognized in a court of law, this evidence is extremely damaging to him. It includes information that only the killer can know. A new rage was building up within me. Whoever did that to you, he also put Ito's mind under so much stress that it had shattered. Damn it all. I kicked a small rock at my feet. The rock collided with a nearby wall and split in two.
新庄さん、このままだと伊藤はどうなるんですか？その法律的に。
Shinjo-san, what's going to happen to Ito at this rate? I mean, legally. I think you and I both know.
まだわからない。未成年とはいえ、事件が事件だけに。
I don't know. He's a minor, but given what he's accused of.
でも真犯人が逮捕されれば別ですよね。そうすれば伊藤の罪だって軽く。
But that would change the real killer's caught, right? They could lessen the charges then.
ダメだ。君は自分の身を守ることだけ考えろ。犯人なら俺が探す。
No, you just focus on protecting yourselves. I'll find the killer. Shinjo-san must have realized what I was trying to say because he cut me off. Oh, he's gonna put himself in more dangerous situations.
犯人を探すって、一体どこをどう探すつもりなんですか？それに犯人が分かっても、ギガロマニアックス相手に新庄さんに何ができるんです？
Find him? Where are you even going to start looking? And if you do find the killer, what can you do against a gigglomaniac? I think this is the trope again, where they say find him, so that you instantly loads the image of like a guy in your mind, but it ends up being a woman. I think that literally happened in one of the games. I feel like it just happened multiple times, often, in Science Adventure. Kujiro Frau was one obvious instance, but I think there were others.
これまで結局何もできてないじゃないですか。そんなだからユイや伊藤は。
You haven't been able to do anything so far. That's why Yui and Ito. That wasn't fair. I knew it wasn't fair to him, but I was so frustrated and angry that I couldn't stop myself.
タクル。新庄さんは一生懸命やってくれてる。責めるのは違うわ。
Shinjo-san's doing everything he can. It's not right to blame him for any of this. I looked at Shinjo-san's face and looked away. He had the same pained look on his face that we'd had a moment ago.
すみません。つい。
I'm sorry. I didn't mean.
いや、君の言う通りだ。俺は君たちにどう謝罪していいのか、未だにわからない。
No, you're absolutely right. I still don't know how to apologize to you.
けれど、頼むから、命を危険にさらすような真似はしないでくれ。特に宮代君、11月4日に何かしようと考えているのなら。
But please don't put your lives in danger, especially you, Miyashiro-kun, if you're thinking about doing something on November 4th.
11月4日
November 4th?
ニュージェネレーションの狂気。最後の事件の日ですよね。となれば、その日に真犯人は必ず動く。
The day of the last New Generation Madness incident. That means that the killer will do something on that day. Shinjo-san's expression became even more pained.
だから、宮代君。
So that's why, Miyashiro-kun.
ダメか。
No luck, huh? He must have seen how strong my resolve was because he turned towards Kurusu.
クルスさん、
Yes.
どうやら俺から頼んでも無駄らしい。宮代君がおかしなことをしないよう見張っててくれないか。俺はこれ以上犠牲者を出したくない。
It looks like he's not going to listen to me. Can you keep an eye on him? Make sure he doesn't do anything. I don't want any more victims. Kurusu quietly nodded.
わかりました。
I understand.
11月4日が過ぎるまでタクルには危険なことをさせないよう注意しておきます。
I'll watch Tucker until the end of November 4th. Make sure he doesn't do anything dangerous.
クルス
Something seemed strange about what she'd said, so I turned to look. But she had already bowed to Shinjo-san and started walking towards Alba dorm. Crime. Leia's victim chopped up and put into tiny little boxes. Too much even for me. So we settled on minor indiscretion. That's from the law Tokyo passed banning depictions of sex between non-existent youths in anime and manga, right? Because of minor indiscretion, but that was like 5 or 6 years ago. Does anybody even remember it? It's better than spit roasted for a chick who got burnt to death. How about underage indiscretion? That makes it sound extra, ugh. Little Yui, the underage girl. Little Yui, the underage girl, huh? And Yui was an XXX girl, so, much, than the guy from Sue Morbidly Obese. The crazy old lady from Spit Roasted. BRB, going to the bathroom. Officer, there's a pervert in this thread. Anyway, the killer's not supposed to get caught. What do we do on November 4th, lol? What do we do on November 4th? Why don't you go do it yourself? IDGF. Go make minor indiscretion too. The police have been notified. All underage indiscretion. You guys play too many H games. Oh, that's gross. Screw you, assholes. I had to stop myself from smashing the newspaper club's computer monitor. I came very close to depriving Kazuki from means of playing ESO too. Sarika, Kazuki, and Armor were watching me in shock from a corner of the room. Minor indiscretion? Fuck you. Yui died so goddamn horribly. So what the fuck are you all random assholes doing ganging up on her with what might as well be a second rape? Fuck all of you.
Taku? 大丈夫?
Taku, are you okay? Circa's worried voice brought me back to reality. My hands were red from when I slammed them on the desk and they'd stung. They might swell up soon.
みんなごめん
Oh, sorry everyone. I glanced one last time at the @channel comments and closed the browser.
だから今朝警告したんですよ。チャンネルはしばらく見ない方がいいって。
I warned you this morning not to look at @channel for a little while.
いやネット上に何か情報がないか探しててつい
I was looking for information on the internet and couldn't help myself. I should have never looked at that nest of self-proclaimed right-siders. There was nothing but idiots being cleverly manipulated by paid professionals.
いやそれは以前の僕も同じだったのか
No, I guess I used to be too. I've been one of them too, at least up until Revolving Dead. As I started to become a part of the murders, I began to realize how irresponsible and sensitive the information disseminated on the internet was, and how awful the reality could be. It was karma. I'd once been proud of my status as a right-sider, but now the whole thing felt like a punishment.
もう見ちゃったんなら言っときますけどね。伊藤先輩の個人情報も出ちゃってますよ。連続殺人犯かどうかって話になってます。
Since you've already seen it, I'll tell you, Ito Senpai's personal information is up there too. They're talking about whether or not he's the killer. Let me guess. November 4th is going to come, and there's going to be no killing. And then that's all to prop up Ito as the actual killer when he's not.
ほんの少し前は南沢千里のことで騒いでたくせに。
It was only a few days ago that they were all convinced it was Minamisawa Senri. So I guess she could be mind controlled too. I stood and picked up the map we pulled off the wall. I put it back up on the board.
タク？どうするんです？
What are you going to do?
もう一度これまでの情報をチェックして見落としていることがないか調べてやる。そこに真犯人につながるヒントがあるかもしれない。
I'm going to look at all the information we found so far and make sure we didn't miss anything. There might be a clue to the real killer. Whoever did that to Yui, I wasn't letting them get away. I'd find them and then I'd...
それならクルス先輩も呼んできましょうか。
Should we call Kurusu Senpai then?
いや、あいつは生徒会の仕事に専念するって言ってた。何でもいいから忙しく働いていたいって。
No, she wanted to focus on helping the student council. She just wants to keep busy no matter what.
そうしてないとユイのことを思い出してしまうからって。
Otherwise, she remembers what happened to Yui.
そうですか。
I see. For some reason, Armor looked suspicious for a second. It would take me a while to figure out what her expression meant. At the time, I didn't really think anything of it. Well, I guess that was a lie, right? But she accepted your lie? Because the real reason you don't want her to do this is because she's going to try and stop you?
最初の事件こっちみんなと2番目の事件オトモレタンについては僕は直接関わっていない。だから保留にしておくとして。
I wasn't personally involved in the first incident. Don't look or the second audio bleed, so we can come back to those later.
3番目の事件回転デッドここからが本題だ。
We'll start with the third case, Revolving Dead.
私と初めて会ったのもこの時でしたね。
That's where you met me, wasn't it?
ああ。で、あの事件で何か見落としがなかったかずっと考えてたんだけど。
Yeah, and I've been wondering if there's anything we missed there.
それほど重要じゃないと思って放っておいたことがあったんだ。覚えてないか、尾上。
There's something we haven't talked about because we didn't think it was that important. Do you remember what it was, Onoe?
何？
Is it the knocking? Huh? What is it? Locked door suddenly opened. Police didn't stop us with uniforms in Love Hotel. Should be hidden camera in Love Hotel room that shows killer. Well, we know this. Police didn't stop us with uniforms in Love Hotel. That stuff about the hotel owner putting a camera in the room so you could watch was just an urban legend. Even though Love Hotel, you weren't going to find one. Rethink that.
そう、僕と尾上はラブホの中をこの制服で歩いてたんだ。普通なら補導されるだろう。
Yeah, you and I were walking through the Love Hotel in our school uniforms. Normally that policeman would have stopped us or taken us in, right?
うん。確かにそうですね。
That's right.
尾上がとっさにカップルのふりをしたからごまかしたと思ったけど、よく考えればやっぱり変だ。
I thought that Onoe had fooled them by pretending we were a couple, but that doesn't make any sense now that I think about it.
壁砲の制服は目立つ。警官が気づかないはずないんだ。なのに僕らそのままスルーされた。あの時違和感を覚えたんだよ。
Hekiho's uniforms stand out. There's no way a policeman wouldn't notice, but we were ignored. At the time, it felt strange.
タクは考えすぎだと思うけど。
I think you're overthinking things, Taku. The last time Someone's dismissed your idea. They ended up going and killing Yui, so...
いや、今思えばあの警官、犯人に思考誘導されてたんじゃないだろうか。
No, thinking back, that officer was probably being mind controlled by the killer.
思考誘導？何のためにです？
Mind controlled? Why?
僕らを有村たちのいる殺人現場へ導くためとか。
To lead us to the murder scene where Aramura was.
だからなぜそんな必要が？
But why?
それはまだわからない。後でもう一度考えてみる。
I don't know yet. Let's come back to it. Real killer want Miyashiro Takara to see murder scene. If the goal was to show me a brutal murder scene and lead me to Aramura, then why? To awaken you.
その次の事件では、この学園でネット記者の渡部が殺された。
Next was the murder of Watabe, the internet journalist at our school.
この事件にも見逃しているポイントがある。あの時はそれほど不思議だと思ってなかったけど、よく考えるとなんかおかしい。
There's something else that seems strange here. I didn't really think of it at the time, but doesn't make sense looking back.
おかしいって何が？
What doesn't make sense?
あの時、すでに渡部は有名なネット記者だった。それに比べて、まあ、こんなことは言いたくないけど、うちは有名でもなんでもない。ただの高校の新聞部だろ。
Watabe is a famous journalist. Compared to him, well, I hate to say it, but we're not famous at all. We're just a high school newspaper club.
なのに渡部の方から僕らとのディスカッションを申し込んできたんだ。
But Watabe wanted to interview us.
それって宮代先輩たちの方が力士シールについての情報が早くて、でネットでパクリだって騒がれた渡部さんが慌ててごまかしに来たんじゃないんですか？
That's because you beat him to the punch with the sumo stickers, right? And then there was the whole fuss about plagiarism online, and he came to try and distract them from that?
そうだったよね。
Yeah, that's right.
ほらな、やっぱり変だ。
See, it doesn't make sense.
なんで？
Huh? Why?
有村や尾上はそれほどヘビーなネットユーザーじゃないよな。
Neither of you are heavy internet users, right?
ええ、まあ
Yeah, I guess not.
普通かな。
About average, I guess.
そんな二人でさ今みたいに思ったんだろう。渡部が自分のパクリをごまかしに来たって。
Yet even the two of you thought he was trying to distract the internet from his plagiarism.
つまり僕らと対談なんかしても渡部の意図は見え見えで余計に炎上するだけだと思うんだ。メリットなんかどこにもないだろう。
In other words, doing the interview with us would have made it obvious what he was after. It just made things worse for his public image. There's nothing in it for him.
ああ、確かに。
Yeah, that's right.
その程度のこと、ネット記者としてやってきた渡部に計算できないはずがない。
Watabe's an internet journalist for a long time. There's no way he wouldn't have known that. Someone as clever as him was capable of coming up with fresher information fast and changing the subject. The internet was always hungry for new things to talk about. Give them a few big scoops and they would forget all about it.
じゃあどういうことなの？タク。
Huh? Then what are you trying to say, Taku?
これは僕の考えなんだけど。
It's just my idea, but he was mind controlled too. Watabe wanted to buy us off to make him look good. Watabe is going to apologize for done at the interview. Watabe is mind controlled for the festival and could not make good decisions.
そう、渡部自身すら気づいてなかったかもしれないけど、僕らに対談を申し込むよう思考を誘導されてたんじゃないかと思う。
That's right, he probably didn't even realize this, but I think he was being mind controlled as well.
そしてみんなの注目を集めたところで殺された。
And on the day of the festival, when everyone was watching, he was killed.
でも宮代先輩、ラブホの件もそうですけど、やっぱり動機が分かりません。犯人は何がしたかったんです？
But Miyashiro-senpai, this is the same as with the Love Hotel. I don't understand the motive. What did the killer want to do?
動機か。
Their motive, huh? Aramura was right. What was the point of making Watabe do that? What was their hidden goal?
分かった。この事件についてももう少し考えてみる。
Alright, I'll think about this a little more. I put a note about Watabe up on the board. Was Watabe mind controlled into asking to meet with us?
ちなみに渡部の体内から出てきたシールはみんな偽物の力士シールだったことが分かってる。
By the way, we know that all the sumo stickers found in the body were fakes.
どうして本物を使わなかったのかな。
Why didn't they use real ones?
それは多分犯人も能力者だからだろう。
Probably because the killer is a psychic too. Sumo stickers, aka the 11th Rorschach, had a terrible effect on the mind of psychics. Using real sumo stickers to kill Watabe would pose a serious risk to them as well.
犯行現場で犯人自身が誤って精神汚染を受けたりすれば、僕や有村と同じように身動きが取れなくなってしまう。そうなったら逃げることができなくなるからな。
Ooh. If the killer had their mind affected like Aramura and I did, they might have been frozen at the scene, then they wouldn't be able to escape. Kuna Sato.
確かにあのシールを見るとタクひどいことになるもんね。
Yeah, you're always a mess whenever you see those stickers. Aramura nodded several times, frowning.
本当に嫌ですよね、あれ。なんていうのか、悪夢みたいな妄想がどんどん心の中に広がってきて、そのうちそれが妄想なのか現実なのか分かんなくなって。
I really hate those things. It's like these nightmarish delusions just take over your mind, eventually you stop being sure what's a delusion and what's reality.
そうだな。あの夜のことを覚えてるか、有村。
You said it. Do you remember that night, Aramura?
あの夜
That night?
僕と有村がパイロキネシストハイダリコに襲われた時のことだ。
That night when you and I were attacked by the pyrokinetic Haida Rico.
あの夜は尾上もいたよな。確かお前が僕のトレーラーハウスに来て。
You were there too, right, Inoue? You came to my RV. Is he gonna say that Haida Rico, they never met her and never had a connection with her, but yet she said, I found you, so she was being mind controlled?
のんちゃんの話を聞いてあげてってお願いした時だよね。
That's when I asked you to go to talk to Nonchan, right?
でも私タクにそれだけ伝えて家に帰っちゃったからな。その後のことは。
I went straight home after that. I don't know what happened then.
そうか。でも家への帰り道何かに気づかなかったか。
I see, but did you notice anything on your way home?
何かって？
What do you mean? There were suddenly more sumo stickers around the park and city. The park was sealed off by the police. Pyrokinetic ambushed me at the park entrance.
確かになんかあっちこっちベタベタ貼ってあったね。
Yeah, I remember those stickers are all over the place.
ああ、僕はクルスに会おうと思ってアーバ寮へ向かったんだ。ところが公園や街中の歴史シールの数がいきなり増えてた。
Yeah, I wanted to go see Karusu, so I headed to Alba Dorm. But there were sumo stickers all over the park and city.
しかも本物のシール。11番目のロールシャッハが。
And they were real stickers, the 11th Rorschach.
そのせいで僕は精神を完全に侵食されそうになった。
That almost completely took over my mind. And funnily enough, when they were real sumo stickers, they're real sumo stickers this time, and this time you're attacked by, someone else that wasn't the new gen killer, probably, who I think is Kunosato. Kunosato wasn't there presently. Harmora seemed to remember what happened. She gave a little scream and hugged herself tight.
あの時期はいろんなテレビ番組やネットで力士シールが話題になってたんですよ。
What if Kuno Sato is being mind controlled? So it's like she's being mind controlled into mind controlling people? I don't know. And then it ends up just being Momose. The TV, news, the internet were all talking about the sumo stickers back then.
そのせいでどんな恐ろしいものか知らないバカな連中が面白がって張りまくってたんです。迷惑な話です。
So some idiots who didn't know what they were went up and stuck them up everywhere for fun. The bastards.
いや、よく考えてみるとネットやテレビのせいじゃないような気がするんだ。
No, when I think about it, I don't think you can blame the internet or TV.
どういうこと？
What do you mean? I faced the rest of the group and chose my next words carefully as I tried to figure this out for myself.
あの夜もそうだけど、僕はネットニュースやテレビが力士シールを話題にするたびにずっとチェックをしてきた。
Whenever a story about the sumo stickers show up on the internet or TV, I would always go look at it.
でもニュースで扱っているのはどれも偽のシールばかりだったんだ。本物の力士シール、11番目のロールシャッハ画像はほとんど出たことがない。
All the stickers on the news were fakes. Very few of them were the actual 11th Rorschach. That's because Kuno Sato is a right-sider who uses the internet a lot and wouldn't want to be hit by it. But the question is, why wasn't Kuno Sato affected by the 11th Rorschach in the basement when they looked at the computers? Is it because she looked away?
つまりテレビやネットのシールを真似て喜んでいるような連中は実は本物がどんなデザインなのか知らないんだよ。
Which means that if they were just copying what they saw on TV, they wouldn't know what the real design looked like.
そんな連中の作ったシールなんていくら大量に貼ってあっても怖くもなんともないだろう。
They can make a million stickers and it wouldn't bother us, right?
じゃあどうしてあの夜は？
Then why were there so many that night?
おそらく真犯人がやったんだ。自分も精神汚染されるかもしれないのに、そのリスクを冒してまで本物のシールを貼って回った。
It was probably the real killer. They put the real sticker up knowing the effect it would have.
その目的はおそらく
Their goal was probably to cause psychological pain and awaken us as gigalomaniacs, to kill us as part of the return of the new generation madness, to lead us to psychokinetic.
あの夜、僕らはひたすらシールから逃げ回って。
We kept running for the stickers that night.
行き着いた先にあのハイダリコって人が現れた。なるほど、そうですね。
Why did she have Senri's ID card if it wasn't Senri? And right to Hidoriko, I see, that's right.
つまり犯人はシールを使ってハイダリコが待ち受けている場所へ僕らを誘導したんだ。
In other words, the killer led us right to where Hidoriko was waiting.
そしてハイダリコは僕らを襲ってきた。
And Hidoriko attacked us.
でも考えてみるとあの人も伊藤先輩と同じだったんですね。思考を操られて犯人役をやらされただけ。
When you think about it, she was no different than Ito Senpai. She was being mind controlled into attacking someone.
かわいそうだね。
I feel bad for her.
ああ、僕らは真犯人に完全にはめられて彼女を南沢千里だと思い込んでしまった。
Yeah, the real killer manipulated us into thinking that she was Minamisawa Senri. Do you think Minamisawa Senri is the actual new gen killer, but she just found a look-alike or something and gave her the ID card? Then Senri is just mind controlling people into thinking that or saying that, oh, I found you, oh, I've been abandoned and I'm so angry, oh, you'll pay for abandoning Senri back there, but really it's just her. She's just talking about herself, basically. The killer even went through the trouble of preparing fake evidence.
証拠か。僕たちがハイダリコを南沢千里だと完全に信じ込んでしまったのは。
Evidence, huh? The reason we completely believe that Hidoriko is Minamisawa Senri was Hidoriko had Minamisawa Senri's ID card.
Minamisawa Senriの ID カード。あれには完全に騙された。
Minamisawa Senri's ID card that completely fooled us.
でもなんで彼女があのカードを持ってたんでしょうね。
But why did she have that card? Because Senri gave it to her.
その理由が全くわからない。完全に謎のままだ。
No idea. It's a complete mystery. Where did Hidoriko get it?
思うんですけど、やっぱり本物の南沢千里が生きててハイダリコに罪をかぶせようとしたんじゃ。
It's just an idea, but the real Minamisawa Senri might be alive and she was trying to pin the blame on Hidoriko.
でもクルスはそんなことありえないってずっと言ってる。
But Kurusu kept saying that's impossible.
クルス先輩は南沢千里をかばってるだけだと思います。下手をすれば共犯かもしれませんよ。
I think Kurusu Senpai is just trying to protect her. It's possible that she's working with Minamisawa Senri, which checks out because she has Senri's phone number.
お前、言っていいことと悪いことがあるぞ。
Hey, there are some things you just shouldn't say. I almost screamed at Aramura. Was she trying to tell me that Kurusu worked with the killer to do that to Yui? But Kasi grabbed my shirt and stopped me. She shook her head as if telling me to calm down.
タク、怒鳴らないで。怖いよ。
Taku, don't get mad. You're scaring me.
悪い。有村もすまなかった。
Oh, sorry, Aramura. I owe you an apology, too.
いえ、こっちこそ軽はずみでした。
I guess there was an instance where Takaru was being mind controlled, right? At the Cafe Lax on October 24th, was it? October 23rd? Because he saw all those images and he ended up, like, completely just charging into Onoe. And Kurusu was there. And conveniently, Senri, well, Hidoriko was there. No, I'm sorry, that was careless of me.
でも宮代先輩、疑うのであれば全てを疑ってみるべきです。以前クルス先輩が私の前で嘘をついたの覚えてますよね。
But Miyashiro Senpai, if you're gonna suspect someone, you should suspect everyone, right? You remember that Kurusu Senpai lied in front of me once already, right? She was right. Kurusu had insisted that Minamisawa Senri was dead, but she hadn't actually seen her die.
もちろん私やセリ、花も例外じゃないですよ。
She also said that Minamisawa Senri died in front of her despite having Senri's phone number. Of course, that goes for me, Sari, and Hana too.
そんなこと言い出したら誰も信用できないじゃないか。
That means I can't trust anybody.
伊藤先輩の事件を考えればそのくらい用心した方がいいという話です。
Well, I mean, you can still trust the evidence. You don't have to trust what any individual person says. And what happened with Ito Senpai, that's probably a good idea.
私結構好きだったんですよ、伊藤先輩。もちろんラブとかじゃないですけど、あんなに言葉がまっすぐで裏表がなくて。
I liked Ito Senpai a lot, of course. I wasn't in love with him or anything, but he was always so honest.
たとえ嘘をついてもバレバレで、その嘘だって誰かを傷つけるような悪い嘘じゃなかったし、すごくいい人だなって感じてました。だから
Even if he lied, it was always so obvious, and his lies were never the bad kind that hurt people. He was a really good person, so...
だから今初めて思ってます。自分の能力をもっとちゃんと使えばよかったって。
So, for the first time, I'm wishing I'd used my power better.
有村。
ひなちゃん。
これまで私ずっと後悔してたんです。こんな能力が欲しいなんて思ってしまったこと。結局人の言葉の裏表なんて知らない方が幸せだったから。
Until now, I'd always regretted wishing for this power. I'd always thought it was better not to know the real meaning behind people's words.
でも今はもっと後悔してます。
But now I regret it even more.
私が能力をちゃんと生かしていれば、多分伊藤先輩の言葉がどこかおかしいことに気づくことができたはずです。そうしたらゆいさんだってあんなことには。
If I'd used my power better, I could have realized that something was wrong with what Ito Senpai was saying. I could have saved Yui-san. Or more at such a sad look in her eyes.
いや、違う。有村のせいじゃない。
No, it's not your fault. I sighed a little, moved away from the map.
そろそろ昼休みも終わりだ。このくらいにしとこう。
Lunchtime's almost over. That's enough.
あと、しばらく新聞部の活動は休止にする。涌井先生にそう言われてるし、放課後も集まらなくていいから。
We're shutting down the club for a while. Mr. Wakui told us we had to, so we don't need to come here after school.
そっか。
I see.
仕方ないですね。
I guess we don't have a choice.
あ、でも和樹は別に演奏とかプレイしに来ても構わないからな。部室の鍵はいつでも開けとく。
Oh, but Kazuki can come play ESO too if she wants. I'll leave the door unlocked. I forced myself to smile, but Kazuki softly lowered her eyes as if to say no. The sun set early in the late autumn. Just like I'd said over lunch, there's no club meeting that day. I had a short conversation with Sarika and then headed straight for Alba dorm. And so it was already starting to get dark, and it was easy to imagine some hidden attacker lurking in the shadows. But there's nothing more than just fear inside me now. Of course, I was afraid of the murder. I was afraid of being killed some horrible way and of dying in incredible pain. But I could also feel a black rage rearing its ugly head inside me. Oh. Is this what they're actually trying to do? Not to awaken him necessarily, but to make him become evil. You're going to pay for what you did to Yui. Whoever the fuck you are, I'll find you and I'll tear you into tiny bloody little shreds. Those feelings grew inside me with each passing moment.
ああ、君、宮代拓君だね。悪いけど、ちょっと話を聞かせてくれないかな。
Oh, you're Miyashiro Takura-kun, right? Can we talk to you for a minute?
君が第一発見者なんだよね。最初に見たときどんな気持ちだった？
You're the first person to find the body, right? What was it like? Oh my lord, I want to punch him in the face. Did they know anything? Midio is still camped outside Alba dorm. Actually, because of what happened to Yui, there's more of them than ever. And now that we're victims in their minds, that made them our self-appointed heroic defenders. They got even bolder.
犯人は君の親友だって噂だけど本当なの？すごいショックだよね。どうやって謝罪してほしい？
They say that it was your best friend who was to kill her, is that right? You must be shocked, aren't you? How do you want him to apologize to you?
友達はなんでこんなことをしたと思う？何か悩んでいたとか、心当たりはないかな？
Why do you think your friend did this? Was there something bothering him?
うるさい。お前ら全員ユイと同じにしてやろうか。
Shut up. Do you want me to do the same thing to you that he did to her? Several of the lights the reporters were holding shattered at the same time. Then I suddenly came back to my senses, shocked at the strong impulse I felt in the eerie light the D sword was giving off.
今日はまだ11月2日。問題の日は明後日だ。それまでは大丈夫。何も起こらない。何も。
Today is still only the November 2nd. Nothing will happen till the 4th. Nothing. I pushed my way past the media and ran inside the dorm, repeating those words as if they were a magic spell.
ただいま。
I'm back. I tried to calm myself down and act like nothing had happened. If Yuto heard me yelling, it would wake him up.
おかえりなさい。タクルさん。
Welcome back to Takeru-san. I saw tiny little Yamazoe, or Uki, peeking at me from the kitchen. We still weren't used to calling each other by our first names.
晩ご飯もうすぐできますから。
Dinner's almost done.
ありがとう。
Thank you. None of us, including Dad, really wanted to eat anything, but she made dinner every night anyway. That was probably her way of struggling against the sadness, I thought.
父さんとクルスは
Her dad and Kurusu.
先生は警察です。ゆいさんのことで。
The doctor's with the police. It's about Yui-san.
そっか。
I see.
ののさんは診察室でゆうとくんの看病を。
Nono-san is taking care of Yuto-kun in the exam room.
うん。なあ、ウキ。
Okay. Hey, Uki.
はい。
Yes?
今日はまだいいけど、あさって11月4日はそうやって一人になっちゃ絶対にダメだ。みんなと一緒にいること。あと誰に誘われても絶対に外へ出ないこと。いいな。
It's fine for today, but 2 days from now, on the 4th, make sure you're not alone at any point in time. Stay with everyone. Don't go outside no matter who tells you to. Got it?
それはタクルさんでもですか？
Does that include you, Takeru-san?
ああ、そうだ。誰も信用しちゃダメだ。
That's right. Don't trust anyone. I remember what Armora had said, and my heart ached a little. Uki mumbled to herself for a moment, seemingly considering my words, then she nodded.
ちょっとユウトの様子を見てくる。
I'll go check on Yuto.
じゃあののさんにもご飯だって伝えてください。ゆうとくんのお世話は私が交代しますから。
Please tell Nono-san that dinner is ready too. I'll take care of Yuto-kun.
わかった。
Got it. I left the dining room and quietly went down the stairs to the clinic. When I opened the door, Yuto was lying on the bed and looking up at the ceiling. He was showing more emotion than he had been right after it had happened, and he would answer when he spoke to him now. He was being given strong psychotropics, had spent most of his time asleep or barely alert.
ユウト。
ああ、おかえりなさい。
Oh, welcome home.
どうだ、具合は。
How are you doing?
うん、よくなったよ。もう平気。
Better. I'm fine now. He forced himself to smile, probably because he didn't want to worry me. But the muscles that controlled his face weren't working the way he wanted yet, and it looked more like he was about to cry.
クルスは
Huh? Where's Kurusu? I thought she was in the exam room with... With who? No, so I was taking care of Yuto-kun in the exam room. Huh? Where's Kurusu? I looked around and didn't see her near the bed.
あっち。今眠ってるからそっとしておいてあげて。
Over there, she's asleep, so leave her alone. I found her at the desk where Dad kept his work computer. She was face down the desk with her long hair covering the top half of her body. Her breathing was gentle and rhythmic. The computer was still on. She must have fallen asleep while working on it.
のの姉ちゃん、あんまり寝てないみたいなんだ。僕の世話だけじゃなくて、生徒会のお仕事とかいっぱいあるみたいで、ずっとパソコンに向かってるし。
Big Sis hasn't been sleeping much. She's been helping me, but she's also doing her student council work too. She's always sitting at the computer. In theory, how hard would it be for Big Sis, for Nono, to pretend not to be a psychic? Like, you just have to not react when the D sword appears, right?
僕ならもう大丈夫って言ってるのに。
I told her I'm fine now, but she won't listen.
大丈夫かどうか診断するのは父さんだろ。
It's Dad's job to tell you when you're fine.
そうだけど。
That's true.
お前はあんまり難しいこと考えるなよ。早く元気になれって。
Don't worry about stuff too much. Just focus on getting better. Neither of us would bring up Yui. We'd probably have to wait until Yuto's a lot more grown up. I tapped him on the shoulder, then grabbed the blanket off the other bed and softly walked over to Kurusu. Even with the heater on, I figured she might catch a cold if she slept in a place like this. But I froze when I saw what was on the computer screen. Is it the Rorschach image? It was displaying several sites that dealt with the return to the new gen madness. She's researching it on her own. Number 1 site being torn down, 90% off, gear brochure. You got Hatsumo Miku. Shibuya and Riki Seal. Shibuya is Horror Town. Kochi Mina and Shibuya by John Smith. John Smith. At the very front was the video from Don't Look. It was paused right at the moment where the victim realized he sliced up his own arm and passed out in a puddle of blood, tears, and drool. There was a newly bought notebook next to her filled with words in her pretty handwriting. Some of it was names, locations, and times that overlapped with what we had on the map on the clubroom wall, where Kurusu made several sharp insights on her own. For example, Instant 2, why didn't the victim put on makeup for her last street performance? The mind controller is male. He didn't consider that a girl would need to put on makeup? Senri's ID card. No one but me knew that I buried it under the memorial in remembrance of her. The killer had to read my mind to dig it up? The killers can read minds? Huh, so she knew where the ID card was. And it was under the memorial. Did she intentionally fall asleep with this notebook out to try to make it look like she's not the one? Which means there are 2 killers, one who can read minds and one who can control minds. Supports Takeru's multiple killers theory. Well, we know Yamazoe can at least see people's minds, right? See what they're thinking in order to make it happen. There's a page after page of it.
この短期間でよくこれだけ。でも何のために？
I'm amazed she put this all together in such a short time, but why? She must have sensed I was staring at her because she moved a little. Her almond-shaped eyes slowly opened as she blinked several times. And then she raised her head and looked at me.
ああ、なんだ、タクルか。おかえりなさい。
Oh, it's you, Takeru. Welcome back. Wait, how did she get Senri's ID card to begin with? Why did she have Senri's ID card? Is this like a school ID card? But if she lied about Senri dying in front of her, why would she have the ID card? Senri gave her the ID card. Killers can read minds? No. You just gave it to her. You know, all these things conveniently play away from her, right? Incident 2. Why didn't the victim... Okay, blah, 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 blah. The mind controller is male? Huh, I guess that rules out Kurusu. Huh. I put the card there, but no one else should know, so the killer has to be able to read minds? Like, the conclusion is that it's not her, someone read her mind. I think Kurusu might be a gigalomaniac if she has the ability to read minds. That's why she was always like, well, every sister can read their brother's mind. No, Kurusu, that's just something you can do.
ただいま。ほら、毛布。風邪ひくぞ。
I'm home. Here, have a blanket. You'll catch a cold.
やだ、私居眠りしちゃってたのね。ありが。
Oh, no. Did I fall asleep? Think. And then she seemed to realize her mistake. She quickly reached out her hand to turn off the computer monitor. I grabbed it.
ね、タクル、これは。
Listen, Takaru, this is... I refuse to let go of her hand.
一体何なの、タクル。
What are you doing, Takaru?
それはこっちのセリフだ。さっきのあれが生徒会の仕事だっていうのか。
That's why I should be asking you. Don't tell me you're doing this for the student council. Kurusu flinched a little. This was always the exact opposite of how things usually went between us. It was always me who did the flinching. Doing this for student council? Why would you have to do this for student council? Is it Kawahara? Is it Kawahara and Nono, who are the... Is it Kawahara, Nono, and Senri who are doing this?
そうだけど。
I am.
そんなわけあるかよ。
Like hell you are.
痛いから、いい加減手離して。
You're hurting me. Let go. But I kept holding on and glared at her for a while. At first, she squirmed a little, but eventually her naturally strong will won out, and she glared right back at me. I don't know how long we stayed like that, but surprisingly, as Kurusu gave up first. She suddenly put her other hand on top of mine. Sorry, just let me go. I relaxed my grip a little and shook her hand away.
だから、ごめんなさい。だから、話して。
なんで一人であんなことしてんだよ。
Why are you doing this on your own?
まさか自分一人だけで真犯人を探そうなんて思ってないよな。誰も巻き込まないようにとか。
You're not thinking of finding the real killer on your own, are you? And you're trying to keep the rest of us out of it too? Okay, so I just realized, okay, perhaps I not realized, but remembered, anytime we have to think about what someone's power is, we have to think about what their wish was too. So with Yamazoe, she has the power to turn people's imagination into reality, which makes her perfect for taking care of, like, the other patients in the basement. Especially if they're, like, non-verbal, she can read their minds and just make it a reality. She can do exactly what people want. So also, if Nono is a mind reader, you have to think about what her wish would be. It would be, I wish I could read my brother's mind. I wish I could read Takeru's mind. We know Yui was capable of doing that. And it might not be a unique power at all. If Kawahara-kun is in on it, what does his power be? I wish I could tell people what to do. I wish I could control people. I wish I had power over people's actions. Like, alright. You're not thinking of finding Blue Kill on your own, are you? And you're trying to keep the rest of us out of it too?
それは
That's...
僕が同じようなことをしたら怒るくせに自分はいいのかよ。
You get mad if I did that, but you're allowed to? Because if Nono's in on it, then she knows, to some extent, she's off limits as a target. But we know that when Yui died, siblings are not off limits. So Takeru does have a real threat against him, whereas Nono doesn't. Assuming she's...
自分はいいのかよ。
Is that what this is?
もしも犯人に目をつけられてユイみたいにされたらどうするんだ。
What if the killer comes after you and you end up like Yui?
そんなの冗談じゃない。
I don't want that to happen.
タクル
Crucia falls silent for a second and spat out the words. And then she started to talk hesitantly as if she were uncertain about how to say what she was thinking.
前にタクルが言ってたでしょ。事件が自分のことを追いかけてきてるみたいだって。
Remember what you said before? That it was like the case was pursuing you now?
あ
Yeah?
私もそうなの。
It's the same for me.
この事件に千里が関わってるって知った時から私はいつも彼女に追われてる。
Ever since I learned that Senri was involved, she'd been pursuing me. You know, okay, I just thought of something. When Senri was in the chair and Takeru and Onoe saw her, let's say at that instant she gained a power or she made a wish. What would her wish be and how would that affect her power? Let's say Senri's in the chair. She's like, save me. That's her wish. What does that... How does that manifest as a power? Is that mind control? Because you're like, I wish I could control them to come and save me? In that case, yeah, it has to be Senri, right? Senri. Minamisawa Senri. What does she mean by that? Ever since I learned that Senri was involved, she's been pursuing me. But I thought that she thought it was Hidoriko, right? We all think it's Hidoriko. Unless... Did anyone tell Kurusu that Hidoriko is a fake and Senri's still out there? Maybe, right? I think. What'd she mean by that? Didn't she say that Senri died in Shibuya earthquake? She did fucking say that. Oh my god. That was the obvious fucking thing to point out. Then that was a lie. And Senri's not only after me, but Kurusu. Kurusu must have sensed my confusion because she shook her head.
千里は地震で死んだわ。それは間違いない。私を追いかけてくるのは なんて言ったらいいのかな。彼女の亡霊なの。
Senri died in the earthquake. I don't know for a fact, and yet somehow it feels like she's still pursuing me. I don't know how to describe it, but it's her ghost.
Huh?
My mouth hung open as I struggled to understand what she just said. I never imagined she'd use such an unscientific word like ghost.
なんだよそれ。意味がわからない。
What are you talking about? I don't understand.
ごめんなさい。今はまだこれしか言えないの。話す勇気が出ないから。
I'm sorry, this is all I can say right now. I don't have the courage to tell you. The courage to tell you that Senri does have it within her to hurt people. Her face twisted in sorrow.
そうか。
I see.
クルスにはまだたくさん僕に言えないことがあるんだな。
Even after everything, there's still so much you won't tell me. Nothing's changed, huh, Kurusu? By the time I realized what I'd said, it was too late. The pain in my heart had come back and the words had slipped out of my mouth. Yeah, it's true, because, like, she wants Takaru to warm up to everyone, use their first name, stay home, stuff like that, but Kurusu won't reciprocate it. She's not filling him in on secrets. What happened to the story? What happened to the rule of everyone eats at the dinner table and no secrets? She's not following her own rules. Even after I'd sworn that I was never going to say those words to her again. Just like I expected, she looked even more sad.
クルス、違うんだ。今のは本心じゃない。
Kurusu, no, I didn't mean it that.
けど
But
前にも言っただろ。今の僕はもう昔とは違うって。
I told you before, right? I'm different than who I used to be.
それに僕はちゃんと今ここにいるじゃないか。まだ怒ってたり嫌ってたりしたら戻ってくるはずがない。
And I'm right here in Alba Dorm, right? If I was still gonna get mad or upset, I wouldn't come back. Kurusu sat down on the bed, exhausted. I suddenly realized that Yuto had left. It was dinner time after all, and he'd probably thought the two of us wanted to be alone. There was a long, long silence after that. Neither Kurusu nor I said a word. We just stared at different spots in the room. Eventually, Kurusu started to talk.
いつか
Someday.
いつかタクルにだけは私が言えないでいること、何もかも全部話したいと思ってる。そのせいでまた嫌われちゃうかもしれないけど、それでも構わない。
Someday, I'm gonna tell you all the things I haven't been able to say. It might make you hate me again, but I still have to say it. Is it regarding his parents?
その時はちゃんと最後まで聞いてくれる？
When that time comes, will you let me say everything I need to?
あ、
Yeah,
ありがとう。
thank you. And finally she smiled. It was a weak smile which looked as though it could fade at any second.
ねえタクル。覚えてる？地震の後、昏睡から目を覚ました日のこと。
Do you remember the day you woke up after the earthquake?
あの時は頭がぼーっとしててあんまり。
I was really out of it, so not really.
でも最初に見たのがクルスの泣き顔だったことだけははっきり覚えてるよ。
But I remember that the first thing I saw was you crying.
そう。
I see.
今考えると不思議だな。お前なんで泣いてたんだ？
Thinking back, it's kind of strange. Why were you crying?
嬉しかったからよ。目を覚ましてくれて。
Because I was happy you woke up.
どうしてあの時の僕とクルスはまだ赤の他人だったろ。
Why? Back then, you and I were still, well, strangers.
タクルはそうだったかもしれないけど、私はタクルのことを1年以上ずっと面倒見てきたのよ。私にとっては大切な家族の一員になってたもの。
Maybe that was true for you, but I'd taken care of you for over a year. You're a part of my family. The fragile smile is still on her face.
だからお姉ちゃんはタクルのことなら何でも知ってるのよ。恥ずかしくて他の女の子には言えないようなことまで全部ね。
So I know everything there is about you, even the stuff you're too embarrassed to tell the other girls.
やめろよ。そういうこと言うのはなしって約束だろ。
Stop it, you're not supposed to say that.
そうだったわね。ごめん、もう言わない。
You're right, sorry, I won't do it again. And then the silence returned. It was as if the two of us were trapped by memories of the past and had forgotten that time even existed.
の
And then time started to move again.
そっか、晩ご飯ほったらかしだった。悪い。
Oh, that's right, we missed dinner. I'm sorry.
いえ、すぐに温め直しますから。
No, I'll warm it up again.
ごめんね、ウキちゃん。
Sorry, Uki-chan. Uki may or may not have been able to tell what was going on between us, but she left for the upstairs dorm without another word.
タクル、先に行ってて。
Tucker, go on ahead.
わかった。あ、クルス。
Sure. Kurusu. She got up for the bed and headed for the dorm. I called out to her.
何？
What is it? Her soft chestnut hair flew upwards as she spun around.
僕はさ。
As I looked into her beautifully colored eyes, I was finally able to say it.
もう家族の誰も失いたくないんだ。
I don't want to lose any more of my family. How long had it been since I called Kurusu part of my family? Her eyes went wide for a moment and suddenly she started to cry.
タクル。
だから本当に頼む。やめてくれ。一人で犯人探しなんて危険なこと。もしもお前まであんなことにユイみたいなことになったら。
So really, don't do this. Try to find the killer. Don't try to find the killer on your own. If something happened to you, if what happened to you, it happened to you.
あれ、情けないな。泣くなよ。僕は情けない。
That's pathetic. I'm not supposed to cry.
わかった。もうしない。
Fine, I won't.
だからお願い。タクルも約束して。私を残して行ってしまわないって。私を置いて消えてしまわないって。
Then you promise me too, Takaru. Promise me you won't leave me behind, that you won't disappear on me.
私耐えられない。こんなに悲しいの耐えきれない。
I can't take it. I can't take all this sadness. She probably didn't even know what she was doing. But she ran up to me and buried her face in my chest. She wrapped her arms around me as if she refused to let me go. And cried for a long, long time, calling out Yui's name in a tiny voice.
クルス。
Until now, I'd always been bothered by the idea of a family. I thought it was just a heavy, annoying chain that kept me stuck in one place.
でもそうじゃなかった。
But I was wrong. Dad, Yui, Yuto, Kurusu, and even Uki now. They're all part of my family. It was only then that it really hit me that Yui was gone forever. I held Kurusu's frail body tight and cried like a baby for a long, long time. And I think I'll end the episode there. Thanks for watching.